This is the second video in our series of 6 where we're going to be incorporating QiGong Concepts into our Kali practice. When I first started discussing this with Guru Cody, he says, hey, that's great, why don't you just list the exercises? And I pushed back a little bit on that, and I said, well, to really do these correctly, you have to have at least a little bit of background in QiGong. So I'm going to give some information on the basic theory, and then after that I will be talking about performing the movements, showing some preparatory sequences, and then from there we'll go into the development of the QiGong versions of the Kali exercises. So the first thing we should talk about is the concept of Qi. In QiGong it's spelled with a Q. It's similar to the Qi of Tai Chi, and in fact Tai Chi and QiGong are complementary systems. And it's also the Ki that you find in the Japanese martial arts spelled with a K, and I would tie that in with prana. So basically the Ki is a vital life energy. It's often associated with the breathing, just as prana is in yoga. And we will be talking about the movement of energy within the body and also drawing energy from the surroundings. If you're familiar with acupuncture, that's something that like 50 years ago was not really part of the mainstream discussion, but when President Nixon went to China, he was given a demonstration of acupuncture and said, you know what, it works, it really, really works. What acupuncture looks at is the movement of energy within the body, and it's been mapped out by the acupuncturists. They've provided diagrams that show the energy movement within the body, sort of like channels, or you know, if you're looking at like an electric wiring system, there's a way that the energy moves in the body. If there's some kind of a blockage in that energy movement, that results in some disturbance in the body, and that's where you get into sickness and injury. The acupuncturist will insert needles, among other techniques, but at a proper spot that will either unblock or block a junction so that it reroutes the energy movement properly. QiGong works the same way, using that same system. The idea here is I look at QiGong as a preventative type of thing, whereas acupuncture would be intervention when you've got a difficulty that needs to be cleared up. QiGong is a practice that you do preferably on a daily basis to keep those energy paths clear and free. Within that, of course, it's like you have junction centers within the body, and that's where you have intersection of these different meridians or lines coming together, again like a junction box or electrical junction box. It's described different ways in different systems of QiGong. When I was studying with Don Jorge, he had it listed 7 major junction boxes, which in my mind corresponded very closely to the chakras that you find in systems of yoga. The one that we're going to be dealing with specifically is one that in Chinese is called the Dan Qian, or the Dan Qian, and in the Japanese martial arts we refer to it as Tanden. When I was taking karate, we would always refer to this as our center of power. It was located like 2 fingertips below the navel, and any movement we did would be generated from there, and that was considered the source of power. Now, what you'll find in QiGong, we'll be doing gathering of energy, and there's also a method for expelling bad energy. What we're going to be thinking of is like the hands and feet are going to be like the paddles on a defibrillator, but in this case the energy can come in or it can go out. So when you're beginning your your QiGong movement, your feet are drawing energy from the ground. And for people who like to be out in nature, if you're standing either in the woods barefoot or in the water, you can get that feel of the natural energy coming in. Your hands will be used for taking energy in, and now you have to have a place to store it, so we're going to be storing it at this major junction box of the Dan Qian, which is like a storage battery. For your own personal development, you're going to be working on your own health. It is said that advanced QiGong practitioners can also by way of touch can give healing energy. For me, this is akin to maybe when you were a child and you were sick and your mother would put her hand on your head to make you feel better. That's kind of a basic expression of that. So again, we'll be gathering energy from the universe or from the surroundings, bringing it into our system, storing it, and then the different exercises that we will be doing will be for moving that energy around. So with that, we'll be ending this segment, and we'll tell you a little bit more in the next one.